Christy was an ordinary teenager, but she hated her stepfather.
Oh, shit.
Paul?
Well.
Hello? Mom? They caught him cheating on you.
Miss Bull asked me to pick her up at her house because she couldn't get to the agency.
That's bullshit.
It became an obsession with her.
Hi, Christy.
In Michael Winner's new thriller, Scream for Help.
I'm upset because my stepfather just tried to murder my mother.
Paul did it. I know he did.
Christy, stop.
But he fixed it to kill Mom.
Christy, don't talk like that.
You've been crazy to get Paul Fox ever since he married your mother.
Nobody believed her. Imagination or fact? She had to find out.
Janie, please help me.
What were they doing?
Fucking. What?
Yeah, you have to see it, so when I tell my mom, you can back me up. Come on.
Hey, slow down!
I'm trying. The gas pedal's stuck.
Hit the brake!
He did this. Paul Fox. He fixed this car so it'd kill Mom. Don't believe me. Just wait until he kills you.
She wouldn't give up. She followed him, hounded him, spied on him. She was determined to expose him. But instead, she came face to face with a new terror.
God!
Alone and afraid, at the mercy of ruthless killers, it was too late to scream for help. Can she escape the terror that invaded her home? See, Scream for Help, the new nightmare from Michael Winner, director of Death Wish.
Well, we certainly hope you enjoyed Scream for Help, because we seem to have seen the entire film right there in that trailer.
Just gonna say, well, I hope everybody enjoyed Sperm, the movie that we just watched.
Semen Demon was my favorite comment of the night so far, which sounds like a Kiss outtake.
Tracy asked, who was that band? That band is new wave of British heavy metal band, Samson, and their lead singer is Bruce Dickinson, who would soon leave that band and join Iron Maiden, where he was out for a little bit when Blaze Bayley joined, now back in Iron Maiden. Everything's right in the world.
He looked a little too much like the director of Last House on Dead End Street.
It could have been worse. Could have been Paul Di'Anno, who's not the old Iron Maiden singer, who's not a photogenic man, but good voice though.
I love their laser show.
Oh, it's amazing, and I like that they had the whole Samson getting his hair cut on stage. Which, if you don't know that Samson, it doesn't make sense. Like, why is that guy getting his hair cut? But yeah,
it's an art piece too. You know.
Yeah,
it's rock and roll. It's an art. It's a think piece.
Yeah, I agree with John McDevitt too. John Hugh used some. There's some great shots in this movie. Even the flashbacks to the past with the demon and stuff. Some of that stuff was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And the scene in the bathroom of the movie theater is fucking horrifying. That's one of my biggest nightmares as a kid. Especially when my hometown theater had a toilet where you had to go downstairs like that, and where the Hollywood Theater does too. But that's what I called it whenever Bill and I saw it. It looked a lot like the Hollywood. It's just really
it's creepy, and there's been a couple of times where I've had to go down in the basement, and there's really no one down there. No one else can hear you. Yeah. And the hand underneath the stall was really creepy. This movie has some really effective set pieces in it. And those were two of them that you mentioned.
The scene with the dad coming with the shotgun, getting stabbed in the throat, and then blowing his own foot off and then thrown out a window is fucking overkill. And I was like, wow, that's insane. Then two girls get assaulted. How about that girl in the shower with using all the shampoo? Everybody that lived in it, like, other people need to use the shampoo, right?
She must have had really soft water.
Yeah, exactly. Like when Becca lived in Vegas, and I went out and visited her family out there. Like, they have water softeners there, you know, because of how harsh the water is, and it took forever to wash these luscious locks that I have in.
I bet.
Yeah, it was horrible. Did not like it.
That long rocker hair.
Yeah. Becca's like, it's about time to get a haircut. I was like, no, I want it. It's got to be longer, like 16. Said so okay, make Garrus when I take it down.
You're a master of horror now.
So. I would be a master of horror, yeah.
Hey, did you see what we're showing next week? We're showing Scream for Help, Mike Justice, and The other movie that we're doing is Death Spa. Not only are we doing two fantastic films, but John McDevitt is going to be back on the program next weekend.
Yeah.
So he will not be sitting next to me on the couch this time. He'll be just like the rest of us, a head in a box.
What if he showed up on my couch and you'd be like, "Whoa, how did that happen?"
That would be very exciting.
Yeah, it would.
A meta moment. I think that would be. Now you have to come down here, John McDevitt, and sit on Sam's couch.
Let's make this happen. He's sitting there and Cubby's just snarling at him. That's how it happens.
Just ignore him, John McDevitt. Cubby, don't even look at Cubby.
Yeah, exactly. Mike's never seen Scream for help, so that's strange that he's asked
Like
for it every
justice.
week. Yeah. Oh man, he did it. I like this. I realize this movie's not objectionably good. I should just say it's not good, but I like it because it revels in its sleaziness, and John Hughes is a good director. It's no American Gothic. It's no Twins of Evil, a movie that I talk to Bill about at least once a week, probably, about how much I love Twins of Evil. But yeah, this is
The Incubus has got a look. There's a very unique look to the film. It's very the bathroom scene especially. It looked like a dungeon down there.
Yeah,
and
you know what's... Sorry, go ahead.
I really like the monster makeup.
Mm-hmm.
The monster suit is pretty good. They don't show it enough. I was hoping to see it a little bit more.
You know what else is wild too? When they come back to the bathroom, and whatever the attack was so violent that one of the sinks is gone, and there's blood where the sink was. It really makes you think, like, what the fuck happened down here? Do you know what I mean? Like, we see that it's not the best looking bathroom in the world, but like we see that it's in one piece, and when they come back, it's just destroyed. Like that scene's great.
And John Cassavetes only had like 2 expressions in this film. There was that smirk where he used that smirk for like the first half of the film. The rest of it was his constipated look.
Yeah. I said either he's holding in a fart or he's just let one go and is about to announce it.
Yeah, that's the smirk.
That's the smirk. It's like, I did it. He did a little squeaker when he came from the room. No one heard it. So,
yeah, look, we have 2 dissenters in the audience. Vince thinks it's more effective when you don't see it, and so does Dustin. He didn't want to see it at all. Yeah, that would have turned it into sort of like a Blair Witchy kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
You don't know what it was or if it was. Who knows?
How about that ending? What a downer.
Yeah. The Incubus wasn't who we thought it was after all.
No.
But I do wonder what was his connection to it then? Like, why was he having these dreams? So he was just having premonitions?
Maybe, yeah. Remember how the one John Ireland said, like, you know, it's I buy. He literally said, like, I buy premonitions and I buy ESP. The rest of this is bullshit. Like, I buy this bullshit. There's other bullshit that I buy. I don't buy this bullshit.
Yeah, I love particular bullshit.
Yeah, but not all the bullshit.
Yeah, that's the bathroom I was thinking of, Frank.
What do you think? Obviously, I don't think John Cassavetes is going to have a long relationship with this demon woman, who is. Should I go here? Yes. Is she, he, or they? Do you know what I mean? Like, do we have to consider these things when we discuss that the incubus is inside a female?
I guess there was nothing, even though technically she would be a succubus.
Yeah.
Could have been an incubus, succubus, succubus, incubus. Exmal Deutschland is running through my head tonight. Sorry.
Bill, there's a question for you. Who's hotter, the cop in this, or Aldo Ray in Evils of the Night? Darren would like to know.
Oh, Aldo Ray always.
Yeah. I mean,
cop in this one can't even hold a candle, or the other way around. But Aldo Ray is just the end all be all always.
Yeah. There's a lot of hair. This is a hair movie. There's big volume hair. There's a lot of hair washing in the shower. The daughter has very butchish hair. There's some interesting hairstyles and hair moments in this movie.
Just because they were living in a small town doesn't mean they can't be fashionable.
Exactly. Also, that library or whatever dungeon or wherever they found whenever they're talking to the grandmother,
Yes.
where the fuck is that? Is that the Elks Lodge?
Can we talk about that museum? It was just like so. That was the museum that they were
Yeah,
in, wasn't it?
but it's like it feels like somewhere like from a D&D module. Like it feels like we're like in some other. It doesn't feel small town America. It's like
Yeah.
where
Yeah. Why is that there?
yeah. Yeah, it's strange that that's just there. Also, they have a theater that's big enough to have a touring band from the UK come and play there. So how small of a town is it? You know what I mean? Like I don't think like when Saxon planned out their tour, they're like, we're gonna come to like Sheboygan. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna play hopefully bigger cities.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I never thought of that because, well, maybe we were supposed to just believe that this was a local band. Maybe
Yeah, maybe.
the
I don't know.
audience did not seem to be into it. They were sitting there like they were at the movies.
They were diffidently cool. Like they were almost like a New York crowd seeing this band, that's the other. Also, this is a small town, but there's dudes that wear eyeliner and girls with like sunglasses at night. Like there's the kids in this town are real cool. You know what I mean? Like they're like Max's Kansas City kids in this small, literally probably outside Kansas City.
They're well connected.
Yeah, they did it. Wow, Eldon really enjoyed it. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, this does have a very 80s feel and a distinctly early 80s feel
Mm-hmm.
to it because there was still some residual 70s
Yeah.
doomy vibes in this, but there was an 80s edge to it,
Yeah.
which was, going so far over the top with the implications and the violence.
I like Dan's question. Why did the Incubus take her a Coke? That's what. Is she always the Incubus, or does the Incubus come out at the least? Do you know what I mean? Like the moments when she doesn't expect it.
Who knows? Yeah,
Who
it
knows?
does. It is a little bit like Sweet 16, Vince.
Yeah, that is a sweet 16. That's a good call.
I see Dan Sitch's new guitar.
Oh wow!
There she is, and she's a beautiful thing. And I said, Dan, whatever you do, don't call her Milk and Cookies. Which is, of course, I think the name that she should be called. I said, don't you dare. Don't call her that.
If the Incubus comes to your bed and says, "Do you want a Coke?" Get out of the room if you can.
Could you ever escape the Incubus?
I don't think so. If it's dating your dad, you're going to be around it all the time.
Nobody got away in this movie.
Yeah. That's what she's like, I've always hated the women that date my dad. This one's literally a semen demon. So I really don't like this one probably the most. It's also kind of crazy that what do you call it? She would go to the crime scenes and take pictures of her crimes. Like a serial killer. You know what I mean? Like revisit the scene of the crime. Unless
well, maybe she didn't know.
Yeah. If she didn't know, then but maybe she did. If she did, then it's even worse. And she's just playing with John Cassavetes' feelings.
I guess she did know because remember she kept trying to like stick her nose in, and they were chasing her away. Yeah, she was posing as a nosy reporter, but she was really the Incubus, not the succubus.
The Incubus.
Jess Franco made the succubus.
Sure did. The Incubus liked New Coke in 1985. Yes, agreed. The Incubus also liked Coke 2 when it came out in the
Coke
South.
2.
Yeah, he's like, I like it more as Coke 2. That's the way.
Whoops.
Coke 2 is what we want.
There used to be a machine around here in Pittsburgh that had Coke 2 in it for a really long time. Sadly, one day it was gone.
That Pepsi machine up in Mount Washington's been getting a lot of coverage. Do you know about the Pepsi machine?
Is this the Pepsi machine that has no one knows who's filling it up?
No, there's one that has Jake Lloyd on it, the young from Star Wars, from the first prequel. Like when they had the pod racing scene, it's just him, and it's a Star Wars machine, and it's still in It's like one of the few ones in existence, and it's up in Mount Washington in public. Like it's like out in the middle of a park.
No, I didn't know about that.
But if there's one getting filled up like that, my dream as a kid was to have my own soda machine. How cool would that be? Like the one that's at the drive-in with the glass
Oh,
bottles. Isn't
I've
that the
thought
best?
about stealing that so many times. It's beautiful.
Yeah, just imagine if you had that. And I worked at this one agency, and one of the owners would always ask me for money for the pop machine, and I said to him, "You own that machine. Like, didn't they give you a key?" And he goes, "Let me look." And he looked at his desk and he had the key. He goes, "Oh, I guess I can just get up pop whatever I want." And I'm like, "I guess, yeah, you own it." But so instead of asking me for it all the time, weird.
And I love that Pepsi machine at the drive-in, you can get Coke in it too.
Yeah, it's
It's
wonderful.
Mexican Coke too.
The best, the only Coke, really, right?
I used to buy it all the time. I'll tell you, I was too into it. I would just
Yeah.
buy too much of it, and I was always drinking too much Coke, so I stopped. I'm back on the Coke train again, though.
I had to cut myself. I had 3 Pepsis, and I had the Pepsi Maxes, and I had to cut myself off.
You saw how much Coke I had in my fridge when you were here the other night.
Here, look at the bottom of ours. Like, there's literally just all soda in the bottom for me. It's like, it's what I do at work. Like, I need my caffeine. So, what if this movie? We should make an ad, Bill, for the next issue. You should do a Coke ad for the back cover of her, the Incubus. Like, can I bring you a Coke?
Jimmy and Lori could be in it too.
Yeah.
How about a Coke?
And just taste of the new generation. That's Pepsi, though. Kids today will never know the war of when celebrities would switch back and forth from Coke to Pepsi, and like when it was like a big deal for them to sign somebody. Like the big wrong one though was when Madonna did Like a Prayer. They aired the Pepsi commercial like right after, and then Pepsi was like, "Oh Lord, we didn't know we were going to get into this whole thing." And
She had burning crosses in it.
yeah. Oh man, I remember seeing because that video aired like right at the same time Cosby was on, like at 8 o'clock on a Thursday. I remember we switched over and I was watching like, God, people are going to be real mad about this. That song's got a good riff in it. It's got like a little guitar part for the metal kids. Like, hey, parts for you. So
what, Like a Prayer?
Yeah, the beginning of it on the album version has like a riff open.
She's a fucking genius.
I like that song.
Who else would think to put something like that at the beginning of a song? She's brilliant.
I do like that song. I will admit. I don't like all Madonna, but I do like that song.
And she's a respectable businesswoman.
Yeah, Pepsi is the Pazuzu drink. Pepzuzu. That's what we're going to be drinking.
I was looking for the lineup for the Monsterama to put it up on screen, and I can't find it anywhere.
Do you want me to do what came in the mail, and you can look for that while I'm doing that?
Yeah, why don't you?
Yeah. All right. So this is a combination of mail, convention, and shopping this week. How about that? Yeah. First off, went to Half Price Books. Got a lot of cool stuff. I bought this book, sold it, and lost it. People have taken it from me. I finally got another copy, but I think everybody should have a copy of Hollywood Babylon, especially the bigger size one.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. So I got that. Got this awesome Dark Shadows old novel, which is it's the first one. A book based on.
Have you read any of the other ones?
Not yet, but Becca bought this and she was very excited about it. And she also got the Alan Dean Foster version of The Last Starfighter.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and then I got, believe it or not, a record. Let me see if I can get to it. I have everything stacked inappropriately. I did not prepare it, but that's okay.
We're all about inappropriate on this show.
As you know, at the thrift store down the street from me, a couple of years ago, I showed it on the show that I got Mondo Cane 2 there. I got Mondo Cane 1 for $1, Bill. Look at that.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Rich Orlani and his wife Nino Oliviero did this. And man, so excited. First off, what Maniac bought? I know a lot of people bought it because More was a big song. But
what Maniac could have done this?
Yeah, what Maniac had done this. I have it now. One of the songs is called The Damned Island, which I'm really excited about. but and Dog Heat. So yeah, really excited to listen to some Mondo Kane and Mondo Kane too. Pretty cool. And then let's see what came in the mail this week and convention buying. Well, only one thing came in the mail this week: the Grand Tour. This is from MVD Senate Unearthed Classics. Put it out. It's a movie with Jeff Daniels, a time traveling movie. Never seen it. Look for a review soon. Here's what I bought at the Severn booth yesterday. Why didn't I have this yet? Born to Fight, Bruno Mattei, made after Strike Commando 2. It's got Brent Huff in it. There you go. And then I have not seen this yet. This is Mario Bava's final film, The Venus of Ill, starring Daria Nicolodini. And it's an Italian TV show, Italian TV anthology. So I'm really excited that that came out. And again, why didn't I buy this when it came out? Faceless on Blu-ray. So I love that back cover so much. So really excited to have Faceless in the house. And then it's got this is the 4K one actually. It's got that awesome cover.
It's nice.
Yeah. So Glorious Franco. And then the last thing I got, if you saw this week, I interviewed Scooter McCrae on the site. And this is the book that got made of his movie Shatter Dead, which is really great. It has storyboard pages, and then the back cover is pretty amazing. And some the articles that were in Fangoria about it, interviews with him about the movie. This same company also made the Night of the Living Dead 1990 storyboard book that has all the stuff that got cut out of that movie. And they also did one for Scooter's other movie, 16 Tongues. So pretty exciting. That was from the con. If you're in Pittsburgh, there's a convention here, Horror Realm, that tomorrow's the last day of. And you can go spend a lot of money like I did. I spent a lot less than I thought I was going to because I thought Severn was going to have more stuff. They're like, oh, we're going to bring more stuff tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing one day.
Okay, so speaking of Night of the Living Dead 1990 and the stuff that was cut,
yeah,
am I right or am I wrong? I used to think that there was a version of that came out on VHS that was accidentally the uncut version of the movie with all the stuff that was cut, but it didn't say that on there, and it was just sort of like an accident that had happened, and that it was either recalled or they just stopped doing it. But did I just imagine that? Because I can't find any information about that anymore.
That's a good question.
I could have just pulled it out of the ether. Anyway, here's the lineup for this year's April Ghouls Drive-In Monsterama weekend of April 28th and 29th at the Riverside Drive-In in Vandergrift, PA. I can't wait to go there again.
Yeah, I'm excited. What movie are you most excited for each night?
The first night, it's Slumber Party Massacre 2 because that's the one that I haven't seen yet.
Oh, wow. You're going to love it. I love that movie.
Yeah. And on the second night, I haven't seen Silent Madness. I've still never seen that. And it's not going to be in 3D, but, I don't really care.
Yeah.
My eyes don't have the same, like one of them is weaker than the other, and 3D doesn't always look that great anyway to me. So whatever. How about you?
Man. I've seen Chopping Mall a million times, but I'm really excited to see it at a drive-in. So I think that would be the kind of movie that people will be yelling and honking horns during. It's a crowd pleaser. Second night, man. Probably I love Maniacs, maybe, but I'm going to go with Maniac Cop. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see it. Becca loves that movie. She loves 2 and 3 even more, but excited to see those. And trying to decide what drinks to make. I think I'm going to make a Slumber Party Sorority House kind of drink, as Sean Midas suggested, and then maybe like an eggnog-based drink, which would be weird in April for Silent Night, Deadly Night. Not sure. And then bloody stuff for the second night. So excited to see people and hang out. And
Chris Fasonic will bring some kind of liquor that would burn a hole through your stomach.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you drank too much of it.
Yeah, which I'm excited about too. The 1 year he brought absinthe, and like within like a period of like 30 minutes. I smoked up, had absinthe, and like drank a beer and a mixed drink. It was like, whoa, we gotta be fucking high school. You know, it was a little quick.
Yeah, it hit me all of a sudden like a truck.
Yeah, you're gonna end up in the Honey Bear.
I don't
You
think
know?
so.
You got. That's my goal every time when I drive past on the way out. I'm like, I'm not gonna end back up here eating pepper. I'm gonna get through the Honey Bear experience.
That's a terrible experience. You know, like when an edible creeps up on you and all of a
Oh,
sudden it's more than you ever wanted. You can't
yeah,
stop that.
I felt like a girl in a Roger Corman movie having a bad trip. You know, like when it's like giant spiders come up and stuff.
You didn't sign on for this.
I didn't sign. You know, I'm like one of the young nurses, and my biker boyfriends just ruined me. So, yeah, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm in the big dollhouse or the big bird cage. I'm in the middle of Roger Corman time right now on the site, so I've been watching a lot of these, and they're varying quality, but I've been having fun. I can tell you, Stephanie Rothman is the fucking shit. She was awesome. Velvet Vampires, wow, loved it, and I just loved all the stuff I've seen of her so far. Also, the movie Erica that I discovered that I had to buy from someone in Italy, but I actually really liked it. So Tracy said she does. It's a 7-hour drive, but it's awful because it's back roads. Once you hit PA, I'm here to tell you that all of Pittsburgh is back roads.
Yeah, there's not much more.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we have around here. We don't really have.
There's like a very small metropolitan area. I mean it's small, and then the rest of it is just sort of like, you know, suburbs-ish, and then back roads.
We take like one highway over, and then once you get off that, you're, you know, Dukes of Hazzard in it the whole way.
Especially where you live.
Yeah.
God, the GPS took me down all these roads where I expected to see cabins and shit on the side.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like, you know, the trees were all bare and like really close to the road. I'm like, shit, am I in the right place?
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's how it is around here in Monongahela, in southern west Pennsylvania. A lot of rebel flags area of Pennsylvania. Who knew? But yeah, I'm excited for the drive-in. I'm excited for next week too. There's 2 good movies for next week.
Yes.
And getting some ideas for weeks coming up too. Man, I've really had a good time tonight. I'm really glad Joe did the show and everybody dug him. He was excited about doing it, and I think he had a pretty good time, which is good. And I'm very excited for all his stuff coming out on great versions of them. And you know, versus like they're on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel too, so if you want to see any of his movies, they're all there. And I would say they're all worth watching. They're fun. So glad everybody was playing and liked them and hung out. And this is my favorite part of the show, getting to see previews of stuff.
This ran on the page already. Hellraiser, the British ad for Hellraiser, and there we have Doug Bradley himself.
That first, the best horror film ever being made in Britain. That's
a tall order.
That's a tall order.
Yeah, it's obviously hyperbole.
I mean, Tales from the Crypt was made there too. To be fair,
who would say such a thing?
Yeah, and even if Tales from the Crypt did it, I'd be like, yeah, they're debatable.
If you go to the Super Drive-In Monsterama April Ghouls event, you may just see this guy in the snack bar,
and you can ask him, "Were you in the best horror film ever made in Britain?" He'd be like, I don't know. Seems a little rough. Oh.
Here's an ad you've never seen before for Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I bet.
No, I have not. They really separated Dream Warriors real far from the rest of it.
Yeah, that 3 is the biggest thing in the ad.
Mm-hmm. I like that thing.
I like this campaign a little bit more than that, you know.
Yeah.
It looks like the poster looks like something some kid would make in art class. To me. It's like a teenage fantasy painting or something. but whatever.
They were going for that. It's not. It's not scary. This is Beck. This made Becca so happy. She loves House 2 so much. Um, I didn't realize it played theaters as much as it did.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I think it got as big of a release as the first one.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely strange. They're both strange movies and weird movies that don't really exist in our reality. The second one takes that and runs with it. Like it's like fuck it. And I told Bill, there's a Marvel comic of House 2, which still blows my mind. Wow.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that. I totally forgot that there was a comic book. How about this?
Oh,
Again, I don't think this is the same ad design as the American one.
no, that's amazing. Seeing those Canon logos too is like a double burst of happiness.
Yeah, somebody commented on the page. There was like, is that the film corporation that owned all those theaters?
Yeah, sure is.
But that wasn't a good idea for them, was it?
No. Well, the hard part was they not only got the theaters and the Thorn AMI deal, they also got, what do you call it, the big studio where they shot Empire at. And it's like, did they need a studio that big? Probably not. They also got the Thorn AMI tape library, which helps them a bit. The Canon theaters are responsible for the Canon children's tales. They did 8 movies that were adaptations of fairy tales. They shot them all in Israel, almost all in the same sets, and they hired like Israeli film students, and they actually got subsidies for doing that.
That's high praise, John McDevitt. Your Desert Island horror movie. Like that makes it sound like you're only going to get to keep one horror movie, and this is the one you chose. That's interesting.
Yeah. But they were mad that they didn't want to show Disney movies within the Canon theater, so they made their own kids movies to do their own matinees. No kid should ever watch those movies.
Or every kid should watch those movies.
Yeah. Whoa.
Talk about a movie that I never even realized was released theatrically, or at least I was surprised when I saw that it was.
Yeah.
This was released internationally.
That new Blu-ray of it's really nice.
This movie's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like the Kindred. Or Kindred here.
This ad isn't as effective as the one with the baby bottle. The baby bottle one upsets me, and that makes me want to see it.
Yeah, that is a better ad campaign, even though I like that they show the monster on this one. They're just like, fuck it, here it is. We're not going to save you any surprises for the film.
I like that half-brother. Have something else. We're not sure what it is.
Clearly an octopus.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice stuff. This ad is just mind-blowing.
Boom. Bet you never thought you'd see something like this. At least I don't think this ever ran anywhere that I've covered yet.
No, this really sells the movie to me because it is very much comic booky kind of movie 1 and 2. Like this line really, it's the difference of this movie. Like it's the big moment of it for me. I love that.
Oh, we're back to Pinhead.
Back to the best movie ever made in England.
Did you always love Hellraiser? Like when you first saw it, did you love Hellraiser?
I saw Hellraiser 2 first, and I did love it.
Oh, wow.
And I loved it. I thought it was great.
You jumped in it too and loved it.
Yeah. And it didn't look like anything else I'd ever seen. My store got 2 and didn't have 1. We had weird video stores in Elwood City. They were like, maybe you'll be interested in 1. And then 1 came on HBO, and that's when I saw it. Like they brought it back to HBO, and I saw it again.
Yeah, I saw Hellraiser theatrically.
Oh, wow.
When it came out. I was old enough that I was 17, finally old enough to just go to an R-rated movie. Even though they let us in earlier than that.
Did you like it when you saw it, or you took time?
Yeah, I really liked it. It was kind of the first movie. It was like the gateway into horror movies that just sort of like, they're not going to show you, they're not playing by the same rules as other things. Like they're making up their own mythology. And that was really hard for me because I was a monster kid, and I was like, oh well, it's either Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman. So this was a totally new thing, and I dug it. So, and it's not the weirdest movie ever made. There are a lot more weird movies, but for someone that just saw, big budget Hollywood horror for a long time, like The Lost Boys, and there was something a little darker about Hellraiser.
Yeah. It was I just really loved. I watched two the first time I rented it like 3 or 4 times before I brought it back, and I just kept rewatching it. I got really into it.
Two's good. I'm not saying I don't like two.
Yeah, but I also saw like Phantasm 2 before Phantasm. Like that's how weird this store was. Like, we didn't have Phantasm there. They have Phantasm 2.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
that breaks my soul.
But also but seeing 2, you're like, oh wow, this movie's really good, and I had not seen. And when I saw 1, I thought that 1 was going to be action packed and just wild. You know what I mean? Like, and then when I saw 1, I was like, oh, it took me some time to get into that world of it. Versus, I should have seen it naturally the way you intend. You should see it, seeing 1 and then 2. But
I can't even tell you what scene 1 was. Talk about a movie that made up its own mythology as it went along. That was just an amazing experience, especially because I was still pretty young when I saw it. I was like 10. I had to wait till it was on HBO. But Phantasm, I remember I watched it the first night it was on HBO, Friday night. And I was just blown away. I couldn't believe it. It was the best movie in the world to me at that time.
It's also wild the influence Phantasm has on Shaw Brothers movies, because so many of them, they obviously just outright rip off scores from other movies, but the Phantasm score gets used in a lot of their movies, and a lot of foreign movies too. It shows up a lot of times, just as library music and used for cues and stuff. It's really wild.
Strong.
There's also kung fu movies that use Trans-Europe Express. Oh, what'd you say, Bill? Sorry.
Phantasm changed Vince's life. He feels the way I do.
The best shot in it, I think, is when he walks past the ice cream truck and he bristles at it as he goes.
Oh, yes.
And the smoke's coming out slow. Yeah, it's real good. That, and it's also a movie that stops to have a song just out of nowhere. And it's but it doesn't hurt it.
No, they're pretty groovy.
Imagine if you hadn't seen it and someone sold it. It's like some kid whose brother may or may not be dead, and an ice cream man are the only people that can save the world from a funeral director. Like, I don't know if I want to see that.
That was the most upsetting part of the movie for me, when he has that moment where it was all a dream at the end and he wakes up and he realized that Jody is dead.
Yeah.
Because I thought, God, this poor kid has been through so much. And
it makes sense of grief where you kind of wake up sometimes and you think it's a dream and it's not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a really good job of presenting that. And I think you could probably stop after Phantasm 2 if you want. I've seen all of them, but I don't know if you need to see all of them.
Yeah. I don't think I've even seen the last one. What was it, 5?
Yeah, Ravager. Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? There's somebody that likes every movie, you know? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like,
sure,
there's something in it for everybody. I don't know who likes 5, but if you do, sure, someone in the chat will say it. And,
there's got to be somebody out there that's going to be like, 5's the best one out of all of them.
That'll be your talking head moment when you're on one of their shows. Like, really, 5's the best of all the sequels, and they just cut to you, and it says your name.
How about we look at some band stuff that I pulled out of the London newspaper?
I would love it.
This is circa 1987. This kind of jumped out at me, like a full-page ad for the Duran Duran tour at the time, which would have been, I guess, Notorious.
Yeah, that's a beautifully designed ad.
Yeah. And they're playing Pittsburgh. I don't know. For some reason, they're not even one of my favorite bands, and I've seen them 3 times live at different eras of their career. So I was kind of thinking I might go, and then I saw how much the tickets were. I was like, I'm not paying that much.
No.
God.
Your tickets are expensive. Oh, wow.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
One of these things just doesn't belong.
Yeah, because Cinderella, while considered a hair band, is much heavier than other hair bands of the time.
That's not who I meant.
Yeah. Oh, you
Bailey
meant.
Brothers.
Oh, I thought you. Well, because I was thinking Bon Jovi is who I was thinking you meant.
Bailey Brothers. Who the fuck is that? It's like a country act or something. I looked it up.
Monsters of Rock was my second concert I ever went to. The one at Three Rivers with Dokken, Metallica, Kingdom Come, the Scorpions, and Van Halen.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so hot on the field. I had like blisters on my feet.
Oh my God.
It was like 100-degree day, and really good time.
Those were some of the worst experiences of my life when I took Noah to the Mayhem Fest and the Warp Tour, especially. I liked some of the stuff at Mayhem Fest, but the Warp Tour, there was really no band I wanted to see on that whole lineup, and it was always super hot in the middle of summer. You know, I'm getting old, so
there's one Ozfest I went to that had Black Label Society, Motorhead, Pantera, Ozzy, and Maiden all in the same year, and it was like, wow, it was good. But yeah, most long fests, like outside of like Maryland Death Fest, is a good show. Like there were a lot of good bands the years I went to that, but still, it's like I don't think today I could do 4 or 5 days of a fest in a row anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a nightmare to me.
Yeah. Oh, look at this though.
Final UK show for The Cure.
This is our last album. They say
Right.
after every album.
Hello, this is Pete Burns of Dead or Alive, butting in to tell you that The Cure are rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
Probably would not like them.
Robert Smith, you know, he's a charming man, but the band is just rubbish. Speaking of rubbish,
man,
the worst period of Boy George's career, 1987. I mean, who even knows what was going on here?
The great ad though, that reverse type. This is a very art school ad.
This was sort of like this was his heroin era.
Yeah.
He looked really bad, and I don't know if he was cleaned up even at this point. This might have been around the time where he was at his worst.
Oh, wow.
Primal Scream.
Yeah.
There's a name you hadn't thought of for a while, right?
For a long time. I love the the really thin font there. It's amazing.
Thank you, Peter Seville, who designs all their sleeves.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I'm sure that this was his thing. Oh, we're back to Duran Duran, so that's old.
What year were those? Like 84, Bill, you said, or 86?
1987.
Hey, oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Some good stuff there. Man. Also, this week, I don't know if you saw Bill's post, Bill and I did another secret project, but this one will be revealed a lot sooner than the other secret projects, but we worked on something.
I already revealed it.
You didn't say what it was, though. You said what we did.
Someone guessed it in the comments. We can talk about it.
You can talk about it. Fuck, why am I making it a secret? We did another commentary track like the Messiah of Evil one, this time for folks at the Red Wolf Inn, a.k.a. Terror House, a.k.a. every name ever. But yeah, we finished it. We worked on that Thursday night. It'll be coming out soon on YouTube, and you can watch it and hear us talk over another movie. unlike this experience where you just have us talk after the movie, this one, it's like you're watching a movie with us, and Bill and I are just chatting you up and telling you little secrets, whispering sweet nothings in your ear. Put on headphones, and you know.
This is a movie that's near and dear to the both of us.
Yeah.
And we had a lot. I think we had a lot to say about it. It was all kind of a blur.
Yeah. But I think it went pretty well. So excited about that. And we're going to try to do one every couple months. So we can keep doing them. And then we already have the next one figured out. So super excited for what the next one is.
It's something that's been on the back burner for a long time, and it's time for us to just do it.
Yeah, exactly. So after I got through my surgery this week, I said, let's do it. So it all worked out good. I got, not surgery, I had outpatient colonoscopy this week. Let me tell you, super fun. The prep, easy. Not at all. I think 6 hours of being in the bathroom. But yeah, a lot of fun. This is a great question, Bill.
Well, I'm glad you got through that. That's on my list of things to do soon. So
yeah,
I'll be right there with you.
Taking 20 pills or 15 pills in 20 minutes is not. It's just like you got to like stagger them out, take them, and you only have like 16 ounces of water to do it with too. It's a very weird prep thing, and
yeah,
I finished that whole Tarantino book, so I'm sure that's a good thing, right? 400-page book. That's how much I went to the bathroom. So.
Mike, it's Aldo Ray always, all the time.
Yeah. It is. I'm trying to think who would get ahead of Aldo Ray. Not many.
There could be Joe Rubo from The Last American Virgin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know who. What's his name from Suburban Sasquatch?
Dave Bonavita.
Dave Bonavita, yeah.
Yeah, I think Dave Bonavita would come crashing through the door of Aldo Ray and grab me and walk off with me.
Yeah. I think that's
hopefully. I'm only saying this in my mind. I'm not making a statement about Dave.
Well, I told what's in that directed it, David Miscavige. I said, the Bill's a big fan of him. He goes, well, I'll tell Dave. I'm sure he'll be very excited to hear that.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
Yeah. But so anyway, the actual surgery was off, or whatever procedure. They took me in a room. They put an IV in me, and I went back in the room. The guy's like, "So here's what's going to happen. You're going to feel it's going to hurt in your arm for a bit while the IV's going on. I want you to roll to your side and put your head up a little bit." And I said, "Okay." He's like, "Now close your eyes." I said, "All right." And next thing I know, I woke up completely different room, and I was laughing really hard because it was funny to me that time completely spaced out. Do you know what I mean?
That has never really happened to me. I've never been sedated like that.
Oh man, everything started to get white tunnely when my eyes closed. Like when film burns, those cigarette burns.
Yeah.
I kind of saw those and went straight out. And
it scares me.
The room looked a lot like RoboCop. Whenever Murphy boots back up and you can see all those screens and stuff. They had those because they had the camera they were about to peg me with. That really worked out. But yeah, I could have watched inside myself. Yeah, Last American Virgin is a rough movie, as is the movie that it remakes, Lemon Popsicle, which is crazy that the same director and the same cinematographer did both movies, and they're so close to each other, except one set in the 50s, one set in the 80s. And man, the end of that movie, playing his breakdown over the credits is a pretty rough one. Also, that movie is brave enough to set an abortion scene to a U2 song. But I'm sure Bono was super jazzed about that. They weren't yet the U2 that could say where they're going to be, where they're at in the movie,
I never thought about that. That's you made my night with that comment. Just thinking about Bono being pissed off makes me happy.
Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, we're going to fucking take this song back. Like, no, you're not. Manson stole it and Helter Skelter.
The song Charles Manson stole from the Beatles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love when he talks about how great you two are.
The worst is that they come to America and rat on him. If I watch it, I get really upset. Like I get angry halfway through it. Because they deign to have Bo Diddley play with them. Do you know what I mean? It's just like you wouldn't have any of this music without. It's just so like them driving around, reinventing themselves as roots rockers, and then I hate U2 so much. I have
Roots
some
rockers.
Roots rock, yeah. And then like they sued Negative Land after that for for using one of their songs. Yet Zoo TV's rips off Negative Land. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that thing, Negative Land.
Yeah, they have a new album coming out because Brian Roquest, who did that box set that's coming out from Indicator, the religious films one, he is really good friends with Negative Land and just interviewed them for a new project. And he actually took care of the Weatherman from Negative Land for a while because he's an older guy. So pretty exciting.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood. I can't see it on screen, but is that a Frankie ad?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Why can't you see it?
I don't know, but do you know what Italian movie uses Frankie Goes to Hollywood song?
It's the one with Warriors of the Wasteland.
Yeah, Too Beautiful to Die. They make a video for Warriors of the Wasteland. It's wild.
That's what tour this was.
Yeah, I sent you the video of it, like when it happened. Also, the body double scene is really great. It's scene totally breaks a already kind of broken movie, but I love it.
Yeah, their second album, that was just when they went poof and vanished.
Oh.
You know, it really wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that good either. It couldn't live up to the first one. And for some reason, the bubble had just burst.
I remember when that album was big. They had like an MTV section at JCPenney's at the mall, and it was split like for guys and girls. And the girls' side was all Madonna, and the guy side was all Frankie Says Relax shirts. It's a strange mix.
There's a clip of Mick Jagger on YouTube where the interviewer, it was like contemporary to Frankie Goes to Hollywood. She's like, "What about Frankie Goes to Hollywood?" And immediately he's like, "Garbage. They're absolute garbage." And they know it. They know it. I saw them at the Ritz, and it was just awful. Like, it was all on tape, and they're paying $15 to go out and listen to a track. It was amazing to just see him immediately diss Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Of course, because you're Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
It's the Thompson Twins. Close
Oh,
to the Bone tour.
I'm seeing like a staticky image.
Oh, wow.
I will take your word for it.
This is from the Thompson Twins 1987 tour, the one that I was supposed to see at the Syria Mosque in Pittsburgh in 1987, and it was going to be the very first time I ever saw Thompson Twins live, and they canceled the day before the show. Heartbreak.
I only saw one show at Syria Mosque.
What was that?
Living Color and Urban Dance Squad, who did that Deeper Shade of Soul song.
Deeper Shade of Soul.
Yeah, the Donovan sample in it from Sunshine Superman. I can see this now. I can see the Eurythmics ad, and that is wonderful. Wow.
Another band I wish I could have seen live, and I'm excited that they were just offered to do a huge world tour, and I think they're going to do it.
That one MTV Awards that they performed a couple times, and they did Would I Lie to You with like the whole horn section and stuff.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Like, they're just like so good live, which is like kind of I always thought, oh, they're going to be, because Dave's such a studio guy. Like, I thought, oh, they're just like a studio band. It blew my mind.
No, the band they put together for this tour was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a concert video of this tour out there you can watch. And it's just great to see. Sometimes the synth pop stuff doesn't translate very well to like a rock and roll arrangement, but and I miss that about Eurythmics, but fortunately they went back to that a couple albums later.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else you want to say before we sign off for the night, Sam?
Just on the site this week, keeping up the New World Pictures week. So lots of young nurses, student nurses, a lot of different jails, different women in prison things. I love Mike's just casual mentions of this. It's amazing.
Yeah. I love these vendettas.
Yeah.
Against Eurythmics.
Yeah.
Well, you know how those negative associations can go. I can relate.
Yeah. You know what's funny is the first Stephanie Rothman one, I think Student Nurses is her first one. It really is Valley of the Dolls without the extreme weirdness of Valley of the Dolls. If you wanted like a more normal Valley of the Dolls, that's the movie for you without like the Carrie Nations and drugs. But it's like this a very similar thing. It's like 3 new girls in the city. They're new to the hospital, and what are the things they go through? Enjoyable. I also like that AIP movies suddenly surprise, especially the women in prison movies. They're like 70 minutes, and like at about like 10 minutes before, it's like time to stop all these showers and run through the jungle, and everybody dies. And then you're surprised when the end comes because how quick the end comes. But it's pretty good. And man, Velvet Vampire, holy shit, loved that movie. Felt like a Jean Rollin movie in Southern California, and as a vampire that can go outside. What? It's really wild, but I like that movie too. Today I watched Burke and Hare was the next one I watched. That's gonna be a Wednesday, and from '72, and a hammery looking movie not made by Hammer, with weird music and a lot of nudity. Sounds like a rave review, doesn't it?
It's just in the making, yes.
Yeah.
Your quote is going to be on the back of a Blu-ray one day.
Yeah, well, and I won't know, and I'll be at a convention and be like, oh, I need to buy this because things on the back. But
all right, so next week, John McDevitt, and we're watching Death Spa and Scream for Help. You're welcome, Mike Justice. Don't
make the mistake I did and think we're watching Killer Workout, because they're similar postered, but not the same.
Well, I thought it would have been an alternate title. I thought maybe it was known as something else, because I've never seen Death Spa.
Oh, get ready. You're going to love it.
I might watch it between then and now, but you know.
Yeah, it's a Reynolds era kind of thing, but I think you're going to like it a lot. Ken
Foree's in it.
He sure is, yeah. It's this. It's got a really great ending too, with like it's good. But I like Killer Workout too. I think what other aerobics movies are there other than, I guess, Murder Rock counts, you know, that you could put into that. The beginning of Night Killer with the, why are they on stage doing this flash dance routine? And why does this lady have a cane? Why is she flipping out? This has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Maybe Stage Fright, but that's more on stage dancing and not working out. But yeah, workout horror seems to be like a thing more people need to do, you know?
It's definitely a genre that needs to be revamped.
Yeah.
Now that everybody was stuck at home during the pandemic on these bikes, we could make a killer exercise bike movie.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I love that.
See, the ideas are already forming.
Yeah.
The stink bugs are out again, Sam.
We had an idea for another movie last week, and now I've, of course, forgotten it, so it probably isn't a good enough idea. But got Stink Bug and another one, and then this is a third one that we were talking through. Oh, I remember what it is. Okay, I got it. But Becca has the copyright to it. So.
Tracy came up with an Argento film based on the Peloton murders.
The Peloton murders.
I think that sounds like a brilliant idea. Tracy, you should definitely start writing that. Make sure everyone comes back next weekend for our show. Same time, same place. It's a double feature, so we'll see you at the regular times. Till then, thanks to our guest, Joe Zasso, for joining us. And good night, Sam.
Thanks,
Under 17, not admitted without parents or guardians.
Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.